This is the Modern Foreign Policy Paper Conference. So here's our topic at the top of our research guide posted on the class webpage. What motivates modern foreign policy decisions? Oftentimes there's controversy regarding the political rationale used to defend American involvement in the affairs of foreign countries. Do we intervene in order to create a more stable world order, or do we intervene for more selfish reasons? Choose 3 modern, from 1945 to 2013, foreign policy decisions to use to defend your argument. So what I want to do is break down that topic a little bit and some of the possible paragraph topics that you can use to defend your argument, and then talk about the research process. So first thing I want to go to is this body paragraph section right here. The first bullet point: you are researching the motives behind our decision to intervene, financial motives or military motives or maybe even political motives, in 3 different locations or events around the world. The basic question that you're trying to answer is, was it necessary for us to intervene, or were we just trying to exert our power and influence? So what I would do is I would actually start by choosing either an era, a location, or a specific war that interests you. And I have a few options listed here. You are not limited by these. Notice down here it says there are lots of ways to choose the subject of your paragraphs, and the above are just some ideas. You're not limited by these. Please feel free to discuss your ideas with me. This is one of the reasons this is a tier 2 rather than a tier 1 topic. It's simply because it's a little bit more broad. And when things become broad, sometimes the research can become a little bit more challenging. In addition, some of these events we have not studied and we will not study before you turn your research paper in. For example, this whole section on Latin America, we basically won't touch on except for Cuba. With that being said, there's some great stuff that you can write about here. So this is one of the issues with this particular topic. But again, if you have a big interest in one or more of these wars or conflicts, then it's a good choice for you. Okay, so let's say that you are deciding to choose one of the popular ones is the Vietnam War. So what you would be doing is you would be evaluating why we got involved in the Vietnam War. What were our reasons for sending in troops? What were our reasons for sending money and supplies into the Vietnam conflict? In other words, you're basically looking at like the causes of the war. And what you are likely to find with the Vietnam War is there's kind of 2 big themes going on. One is that we viewed it as a Cold War battle and that we were trying to stop the spread of communism. And 2, there were some economic benefits or rewards to having control over Vietnam. So then the question is, are those legitimate reasons to get involved in the conflict or not? If we go back up to here, was it necessary for us to send troops into the Vietnam War to protect our individual safety as a nation, or perhaps to provide for global security? Or are we just trying to gain influence over Vietnam? That would be like the economic rationale, that we're just basically trying to take Vietnam as like another colony. So that's what you're trying to do with these different locations in the world. So the way that I have some different options is I have some specific wars that you could actually look at, and you could write a whole paragraph on those. Note, if you're doing a specific war, you need to have 3 unique reasons that we got involved in that location that prove your argument. That is this bullet point right here. For example, for World War II, if you chose that topic, you couldn't have just 3 quotes about Pearl Harbor. You would need to have 3 different unique reasons why we got involved in World War II that prove your argument, that it was necessary for us to intervene, or of course the opposite, that we're just trying to influence or exert our influence. So there's some specific wars here. These are big enough and broad enough wars where you could write an entire paragraph on those particular wars. Other ways that you could organize this paragraph is by region. And so you could have a whole paragraph on Latin America and talk about a few different countries. Like you'd have 1 quote on Mexico, 1 quote on Cuba, 1 quote on Nicaragua. And you'd be evaluating what we did in those countries and why we did it, and whether it was for good, just cause or not. Note the time frame. We are talking about all modern interventions. So like we talked about Mexico and Nicaragua and Panama in our first semester when we learned about America becoming a world power. That won't work. That's too old. This is modern era, World War II on. You could look at the Middle East as a whole. Here's some examples of countries that we have intervened in. Notice Syria is there, which is one of our most recent interventions. So if you want more kind of current event, this is an option. Another option would be early Cold War events. So here's some choices that you could talk about there. Or we have post-Cold War foreign policies. Now for this particular option, if you're interested in some of these concepts or ideas, okay, I would recommend that you actually go to an online reading. There's a reading on the class webpage called Post-Cold War Foreign Policy, and I'm going to direct you there right now. So if you go to the class webpage and go down to U.S. History Readings and click on that, and scroll down to our very last unit of the year. It's right here, Post-Cold War Foreign Policy. Basically what this does is it talks about all the different places that we've intervened post-Cold War up until basically September 11th. And it also is organized kind of by theme. So you can see example countries, why we intervened, but then you'll also notice that there's some general themes. So on the research guide, it has both of those things. So that is another topic. You could have a whole paragraph that's just post-Cold War foreign policies, or you could maybe choose one of these specific topics, like confronting dictators. And that would include a few different countries in the world. Or ethnic conflict and genocide includes a few different countries in the world. So if this interests you, start with that reading on the class webpage before you go anywhere else. Now, in the original prompt, it also talks about wars like the current conflict with Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, the Persian Gulf War. Those are wars that you could talk about individually, or you could lump them together and maybe talk about them in a whole paragraph on the Middle East. If you need help, of course, with figuring out the organization or how you'd like to focus your paper, then obviously come and talk to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go back up right here to the recommended sources as well as the introduction. So let's go ahead and start with the introduction. Besides doing research for your body paragraphs, you also need to do research for your introduction. Your introduction will have paraphrased facts throughout the whole thing that need to be cited. Here are some of the things that need to be included in your introduction. A dictionary definition of foreign policy. Notice, this is a dictionary definition. You have to actually cite that definition. You cannot use a website. You can use paper dictionaries, which are located in the library, or you might have one at home, or you can use a database to define the term foreign policy, but you have to have it cited. You then want to give examples of various forms of foreign policy that we have had historically in the United States. Again, that'll require research. Next, you need to research and determine and explain possible motives or causes for war or militarism. You want to use historical events to help you. I highly recommend to do this, you use information from our unit, America Becomes a World Power, to help you explain that. There's still lectures posted on the class webpage from this unit. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's talk about recommended sources and some citation things. First off, textbook chapters that cover all of these different topics down here. I went ahead and listed those. And then we also have lectures on the class webpage. Note that the textbook and lectures do not count as one of your 5 sources, but you can use them, especially for background in your introduction and in your analysis. There's also this reading, the Post-Cold War Foreign Policy, that you might find helpful. So let's go back to the class webpage for a moment, and let's talk about this. Okay, so if you're using this post-Cold War foreign policy reading, you need the citation information for that particular reading. What you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go to the main U.S. History webpage. You're going to scroll down to the U.S. History research paper and click on that. And then you're going to go down to where it says Works Cited. And right here it says Source Information for Select Online Class Readings. You're going to click on that and it'll be a Word document that you are going to open up. When you open up that Word document, you are looking for the title of the reading that you used. So if we scroll down, here it is, number 1 under Modern Foreign Policy, Post-Cold War Foreign Policy. It tells you the author's name is Goff. Note that there are page numbers on that reading. So on your note cards, you of course will have Goff and the page number. Now besides having the author's last name and the page number, you also of course need all of the source information for your source list. So you scroll down to the next page and you can see there's the GOF. So all you're going to do is copy and paste that into your source list. Okay, so if you use that online reading, here's that source information. Now, besides the online reading, something else that you might find helpful are some of the lectures. So I want to remind you that all lectures are posted on the class webpage under U.S. History Lectures. So if you click on that, you can see this America Becomes a World Power, this number 1, Imperialism Review, and number 3, Turn of the Century Foreign Policies will help you in your introduction. In terms of how to cite a lecture, I'm going to take you there next. So in citing a lecture, again, you're on the class webpage, go back to the main page, you're going to go down to, again, the U.S. History Research Paper tab, and then you're going to go to where it says Works Cited again, and you're going to go to this MLA 8 formula for books and lectures. So you're going to click on that. You're going to open this up, and what you're going to do is you're going to use this as a guide. So the first whole top part is all about books. If we scroll down to the bottom, it has information on a lecture. On your note card, if you're using the lectures, it's Hamilton, my last name, and the title of the lecture, whatever that title may be. If you're using a lecture, you also need to have that in your source list. You simply copy and paste this into your source list, and then you enter in the necessary information, like the title of the lecture and the date of the lecture. You can find the dates on the class webpage underneath the agenda and homework board. If you're using a lecture from fall semester, which is possible with this particular topic, then you want to go ahead and email me asking me for the dates. I have all the dates of all the lectures from fall semester. They are no longer posted on the class webpage. Okay, going back to our research guide for a moment, I want to make sure that you are clear, okay, that there is a lot of flexibility with this particular paper and the topics that you choose. I, again, highly recommend you start with choosing one particular war or region and start doing the research there. Once you've kind of figured out how perhaps you would like to argue your paper, this step 3, then I would recommend coming and talking to me and seeing perhaps which war or which region you should focus on next. In general, World War II, most people find evidence that says that we were legitimate and justified in going to World War II. The counter is true for the Vietnam War. So I can help kind of guide you in making those choices. If you have questions while you're working on the paper, please make sure that you are asking me those questions. You can always send me an email. And of course, when I have an access session divided or dedicated, I should say, towards the research paper, feel free to sign up and you can ask me questions then. Good luck.